Professor Mayo, thank you so much for being here with me today. Appreciate your time. You and I were talking about training plans. You know, at this time of the year, most L&D professionals have already started working on their learning or training need analysis and to draw up the annual training plan. We talked about something that I think is so important for us to share with our followers here on social media, especially L&D professionals, and that is the use of data. How do you use data properly to analyze your training needs, maximizing your ROI? Tell me more about that.
Okay, well, I have three thoughts on this data, Hanan. The first one is that we need to be in touch with, or we need to take a look at, as the training professional, at the data that HR is producing around people. So HR is producing data on engagement, on recruitment, on retention, on losses, on absenteeism, etc., to see if there are pointers to problems that this data is telling us, and if there is, that there might be a training solution to it, one way or another. So the first set of using data is to be able, with the help of HR, to analyze data, asking the question, here's a problem, does it have a training solution? The second form of data, I think, is what I call workforce planning. In other words, department by department, what is the headcount plan, if you like, for the year? What new skills will be required? What new people that need training, maybe for compliance, maybe for in their new jobs? What is the training load that comes purely from the fact that we have movement of people? Yeah, that's another form of data, which is really important. So workforce planning gives us a recruitment plan, of course, but it gives us other plans, one of which should be training. The third aspect to data is, how do we measure skills? And if we want to provide training needs, the definition of a need is that there is some kind of gap, and there's some kind of gap between where we would like people to be and where they are. Now, we can have qualitative approaches to that, but is there any way by which we can quantify that? In other words, quantify the levels of skill or levels of competence, and I think there is, that we might expect from a very base level to an expert level where you would be teaching others. There is a scale. And the question is, for each job and each competence, what level do we want people to be at? What is an essential level? What is a desirable level? And then we design training to try and bring people up to that level. But we need to have some way of assessing. And I think it's a simple scale, basically.
Yeah, in your opinion, what would be the best way to assess and to quantify?
Well, I have always used a 5-point scale, which I think works quite well. In English, 5 words standing for A, B, C, D, and E is basically a Likert scale of 1 to 5. So A stands for aware. I know what this means. B stands for basic. I have a basic knowledge of it, and I know where to look to get more information. C stands for competent. I have this competency. I can use it. I know it. I can advise you on it. D is a level called distinguished, and that means that I'm some kind of local expert on it, and people know that. People come to me for help. And E is the expert, that maybe has some reputation outside, but also teaches the subject. So HNI is full of experts, I'm sure.
We try. But thank you very much. I'm sure we will discuss other points very soon. Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.